Hello, Kel. This is CTB RAM Rich Malava with SimplyMaya.com, here to answer your question about cutting holes in surfaces and then not being able to split edges to the edges in the hole in the surface. I just wanted to explain a little bit why that's happening and how to fix it. So first, let's think about holes. It's pretty intuitive. If I was to take this surface right here where I've got the n-gon on the top and the quad on the bottom of this object, and I delete those polygonal faces, I have these contiguous border edges with no polygons between them, and that's one way to think about a hole. And of course, to fill that, you'd select these edges and then just do a fill hole. Right. The other kind of hole that you can think about is if I've got an object and I literally cut a hole through it with another object like this cylindrical cutter here, which is similar to what you're doing in your video. So if I took this surface and the cutter and I did a Boolean difference, I now have a situation where I have a hole and a polygonal face, and I have established no connection between the outer edges of this face and the inner edges of the face where it meets the hole in the surface. And so, although it looks like Maya has figured out the relationship between the hole and the outer edge of this polygonal face, it really hasn't. And that's why when you come in here and you try to do the split like you're doing in the video, if you try to do this split, the faces go all crazy like that. If I was to back this up, show you another clue to what's going on here is if I try to start the split from here, Maya actually says you can't start up on a hole. I can't start the split tool on a hole. So it's seeing this as a hole in the surface. And another way to think of it, if I was to take this face and delete it, what Maya's really seeing, even though it's not drawing it properly, is it sees a border edge here and a border edge here, and it doesn't have any relationship between these inner border edges and these outer border edges, even though it's misleadingly drawing this polygon like it does. So that's kind of describing what's going on. Now I'll give you what the solution is. So if you do this type of a thing and you cut a hole into a polygonal face and there's not already a connection established between the outer perimeter and the hole, what you have to do is come in here and delete the face. And then now to establish that connection between the outer perimeter and the hole, all you do is you pick two edges and bridge them. Actually, it doesn't matter if I pick that inner one, but I'll bridge them. And now I've done two things. I've created a polygon face that goes between the outer surface or the outer perimeter of this polygonal top piece and the hole, and I've also connected these two edges to the two vertices at the corner of this hole. So now what I can do is come in here and do a fill hole. And now that I have this connection established between the outer surface and the hole by these two edges and this polygonal face, I can now come in here and just split this up properly and Maya won't complain. In fact, I can start at the hole and go to the outside edges, and you don't get that you can't start at a hole message anymore. And then you can just go around here and fill in your holes, which I think is what I did in the video. I'm not 100% sure. Oh. Okay, there we go. That's how you do that. Now, there's another way that you can do this, and that is you can start out where when you cut through the faces, you already have an edge established between the hole and the outer perimeter of the polygon, that you're cutting through. So if I was to take, let's say, just those faces and duplicate them, and then move them in world space over. Oh. I'm just trying to pick that thing I just did there. There we go. And then extrude those up a little bit. So now, if I did that same operation over here, but let's say I want to establish a connection from the outside edge to the edge of the circle, before I start, I can come in here and do a I can come in here. I got to get back in object mode. I'm sorry. I can come in here and I can do a insert edge loop. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a split. I'm going to split from here to here. And as you recall, I already have a split down there. Now be very careful. It's going to be almost impossible if I turn show edges on. It's going to be almost impossible to try to line that up so that these vertices, the connection from this outer part of the perimeter of the polygon, matches with the vertice of the hole. So all you really want to do is just make sure that there's an intersection between the cutter and this edge, so that now when I do this Boolean difference, let's select things in the right order. Boolean difference. Oh, I know what it is. If that happens, you do the difference and you get something different than what you expect happening, come up here to shading, or to lighting, and turn off two-sided lighting, and you see, because I created this cylinder by copying the inside of this, the normals are reversed. So just grab this guy and reverse its normals, and then back onto what I was describing. So now I've got this cutter going through this polygonal face, and I've already got an edge that it's going to clip through. So if I take and do a Boolean difference now, I've already got an edge connection established between the outer perimeter of this polygon and this hole. So Maya will let me split now without complaining. And then the solution here is you can either delete, now that I've got this edge created, you can delete these edges and then continue to draw in the remaining splits, or what you can do is go to vertex mode, select that vertex, then go to vertex merge tool and just snap those guys together, and then go back to the split polygon tool and then continue cutting the splits to the remaining edges. And there you go. I hope this clears up what's happening when you cut a hole in a surface, and why you can't cut an edge from at the outer perimeter to an edge of the hole, because why Maya shows that there's some sort of established connection between the two. I'm not really sure, but it's done that since the earliest version of Maya that I can remember, and you just have to remember that you can either delete the face, bridge two edges, fill the hole, and then split the remainder of the edges, or you can already have it set up so that the cutter goes through an edge, so you've already established a connection between the outer perimeter of the polygon and the hole, and then go in and manually split the edges and use the vertex merge tool to either snap the edges that are already connected to the inner hole to where they need to be, or just delete them and split the edges in with the split tool. So there you go. I hope this helps you out, Kjeld, and I hope you enjoy the tutorial and learn a lot from it, and good luck on completing it.